Hey everyone, Eric from Time to Retire here. Now, I retired 5 months ago at the age of 55. And it was the best decision I think I've ever made. One of my main drivers for retiring early was that I had like 1,000,001 things I wanted to do. And work meant I never really had the time or the energy to get them done. So, 5 months on, I thought it was time to give you a bit of an update. Now, back in the late 90s, early noughties, I ran a small independent record label and I loved it. It was great. So I knew this was going to be top of my list of things to do. But this time I knew, as I was comfortably retired, that this would be a passion, not a money earning venture. So I set up a not-for-profit record label, which has been the best of both worlds for me. Now, the one problem I have had, though, is that I've been going to lots and lots of gigs and my hearing has really started to suffer. Now, I try to take a pair of noise-cancelling earplugs with me whenever I go anywhere, but I have been caught out a few times. And I recently noticed a problem. I was actually taking something out of a paper bag and I noticed that I couldn't hear the rustling of the paper. I'd also started hearing high-pitched noises, tinnitus. So I took myself off to the audiologist and she confirmed that I did have partial hearing loss. And she asked me to come back a month later, which I did. And one ear had improved some, but the right ear had some permanent hearing loss. Now, she said to me that the level of loss was such that I wouldn't be prescribed hearing aids unless things got worse. I was bemoaning this fact recently and a company called Tomore heard my plight online and decided to send me a pair of their non-prescription hearing aids. Now, they haven't paid me to make this video or asked me to say anything nice about them, but they did say I could tell you guys how I got on if I felt I wanted to. So I thought I would. And I'll go out and also test them in a noisy environment and let you know how I get on. So these have three different modes. The first mode just increases the volume so that you can hear better, whereas the second mode is a bit more complex, and what that does is it tries to separate voices. So if you, like me, suffer in noisy environments where lots of people are talking, it makes each of them voices more clear. And then the third mode is the tinnitus mode, and what that does, it plays some pink noise, and the pink noise just reduces your ability to hear the whistling in your particular tinnitus. So these are the hearing aids themselves. I'll just pull them out of here. Within each of them three modes that I mentioned, they also have 5 separate volume levels. Now, when I'll be wearing these, I'll be wearing them at hearing aid level 1 because my hearing is, as I've said, disruption is fairly minor. Though I think potentially I may, in one ear, have level 1, and in the second ear, I may even switch to level 2. It depends really how they are when I give them a try out. So as you can see, they are quite small. And when they go into the box like this, I assume they will charge. Yeah, there we go. So they are both charged, and so when you place them into the box, they will remain fully charged for when you need them. Now, I'm going to go out into the field. I'm going to take these out into a noisy environment and I'll let you know how I get on. Now, there are a few more bits and pieces. Let me see what we've got in the box here. Presumably we've got some different fitting earbuds. Charging cable and a there they are differently written earbuds. It's important with hearing aids that you do have them very snugly fit. You'll find if you don't have them correctly fitted that they will actually whistle. I found this great busy bar to test the sound really, so quite loud in here, quite a lot of music, but probably 80 or 90 different voices going on as well. So what I'm going to try and do when I get home is I'm going to try and replicate what I can hear now without the hearing aids in and with the hearing aids in. I found this great busy bar to test the sound really, so quite loud in here, quite a lot of music, but I found this great busy bar to test the sound really, so quite loud in here, quite a lot of music, but I found this great busy bar to test the sound really, so quite loud in here, quite a lot of music. I found this great busy bar to test the sound really, so quite loud in here, quite a lot of music, but I found this great busy bar to test the sound really, so quite loud in here, quite a lot of music, but I found this great busy bar to test the sound really, so quite loud in here, quite a lot of music. So, what are my thoughts? Well, I'll start by saying that I would not do anything without first speaking to my audiologist. And if they diagnosed a more serious hearing loss, then I'll be able to get some hearing aids that are much more personalised to the frequencies that I struggle to hear. But for me, I'm still way off getting any kind of a prescription. But I have found that overall these are useful. Now, to switch modes, there is a button either side that it's easy to press. And if you press the button quickly, then the hearing aid gets louder. And if you go up to volume 5, they are very loud. Now, with my small amounts of hearing loss, I find them most comfortable at level 1. Now, if I press a little longer, then they go into one of the 3 modes that I mentioned. So now I'm in mode 1 and everything here is louder. And I use this when I'm watching TV and I don't want to maybe disturb Tracy in another room. Now, when I'm out in a busy area with lots of voices around, I long press again. And now it's easier to distinguish individual voices. Now, this is something I've always struggled with. Now, if I press again, now I can hear a low pink noise, similar to like a far-off waterfall. Now, a lot of people with tinnitus do listen to pink noise when they want some respite from the ringing in their tinnitus. And I usually put some earphones for this, but these hearing aids are a bit more comfortable to wear. And as you can see, difficult to even see that I'm wearing them. So in summary, yes, they are useful for me. But if my hearing loss does deteriorate more, then I will absolutely be going back to speak to my audiologist to get some hearing aids that are specifically designed for my type of hearing loss. So thanks for listening. Hope this was useful. See you again.